Hello, hola, Marco. So, 3 weeks ago, I had the surgery. I had the panniculectomy, April 24th on a Friday. The panniculectomy is again where they remove the pannus or the excess skin and fat that hangs down from your stomach like an apron across your thighs. Okay. Uh, it was interesting. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so they give you some instructions on what to do before the surgery, like the day before. And basically, you're not supposed to eat or drink like by midnight of the day of the surgery. So Thursday around 8 p.m., I stopped eating and drinking. Uh, the surgery was scheduled for 11:45 a.m. and I was supposed to be there by 9:45 a.m. I had a hope. My brother and my father were going to go with me. My brother drove us. He dropped us off and then he left and he would come back later. But my father was with me. My father came to their house around 9 and we left for the hospital around 9:10. We arrived there around 9:30, so we were a little early. Fine, great. I check in. A little while later, a nurse comes and gets us from the waiting room to this patient room. She gives me a gown and these little socks with the padding or stickiness at the bottom, kind of like yoga socks or Pilates socks. I change out of my clothing into the gown they give me and to the socks, and I sit down and I wait. The nurse, very nice lady, she comes in and she puts an IV in me. And as she's doing this, she asks me a bunch of questions: who I am, what I'm there for, do I have any allergies, that kind of thing. Uh, and then we chit chat for a little bit. Get a nice lady. Then another nurse comes in and she takes my vitals, blood pressure. What else? Can't quite remember. The date is a little fuzzy in my head. But again, we chit chat a little bit. Uh, the IV that the first nurse put in, she had to do it a couple times, and it felt a little off. But I didn't want to say anything, which you should. You should definitely say something. Okay. But I didn't want like to say anything bad about the first nurse. Again, she was a nice lady, but she did have to try a few times to get the IV in. Uh, so the second nurse again, she comes in, takes my vitals. We talk a little bit. I explain to her what's going on, and she asked a bunch of the same questions or very similar questions as the first nurse, which is fine. Okay, you want to confirm who I am and what we're doing over and over again? Works for me, no problem. Okay, a little while later, the anesthesiologist came in, and she asked me again very similar questions: who I was, what I'm doing there, and had I had any issues with anesthesia before, any allergies, so on and so forth. We chit chat a little bit. She leaves. I never actually see the doctor before the surgery. Uh, a little while later, okay, they rolled me from that patient room into the OR. They put me on the OR table, bed. It looked like a bed. Put my hands out, and they redo the IV themselves, which I'm kind of grateful for because they could see apparently that it wasn't quite right. So yeah, that's good. I like that. Uh, Again, and I hear them chit chatting for a little bit, and that's the last thing I remember. Now, as I understand it, the surgery can take anywhere between 2 to 5 hours. Uh, Again, I got there around 9:45, and around 11:45 they were rolling me in. I imagined that the surgery, started soon after, uh, and I woke up around 5:10, 5 ish. Again, this part is very fuzzy, uh, because I woke up and then I went, back to sleep, and then I woke up. I saw my father and I saw a nurse, and then I woke up again. I saw my father, and at some point, apparently, the doctor, Dr. Ping Song, did come and speak with me, and apparently I spoke with him, but I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Uh, but eventually, the grogginess, the fogginess, went away enough for me to sit up to, talk with my dad about it. Uh, I had this abdominal binder on me. I'm wearing it now, uh, and I could feel the suture lines down my middle and across my stomach, across my waist. And The one across my waist felt very tight, like a very tight belt, and the one on along the length of my stomach was wasn't too bad. I didn't quite feel it too much. Okay, so the anesthesia was still in place. It was just slowly wearing off. I got to the point where eventually I could stand up. I was still woozy. I was still a little dizzy. Okay, but I could stand. It was my and with my father's help, I could walk. I walked very slowly and very carefully because I did not want to fall. Okay, now I don't remember getting dressed. I do remember waking up and I had the abdominal binder on already, and I already had my shirt on. So someone must have put that on. I'm assuming my father and probably a nurse, okay? But I don't remember putting on my sweatpants that I went with. I don't remember any of that, okay? But I had them on when I was leaving the hospital, so I don't know when that happened. Um, but what did I leave with? I left with a little folder, okay, with a bunch of instructions on what to do as far as wound management and care. I left with some medicine. I got, take a look here. I got the really good one, okay, Oxy. I got 25 pills of 5 milligrams of Oxy. I got ibuprofen, 30 pills, 400 milligrams. I got acetaminophen, 30 pills, and what is it? 500 milligrams. And I got docusate sodium, a laxative, because apparently the oxycodone can make you constipated, and you don't want that at all. Okay. They also gave me a bag with some gauze and other wound care treatment items, and in the bag there were some cups, some measuring cups, and I'll get to this in a second. Okay. I also had 3 drains in me, one on my right side, one on my left side, and one in the middle, in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. And I had to be careful with those. I did not want the tube to get hooked on anything. Basically there's a tube that goes into your body. Okay, it goes to a bulb, and there's a what's it called? Like a little pinchy thing that you pinch onto your shirt to hold that bulb in place. And the bulb was squeezed, and because it was squeezed, it would draw the liquid into the bulb, and once it got to a certain level, you drain the bulb. But anyways, my father helps me to the car. We call my brother. He comes, picks it up. My brother helps me to the car, and I go home. And I get home around 6, I think it is, around 6:30. Again, I have a little trouble remembering exactly what time it was. Okay. Now, the anesthesia was wearing off more and more, and in the document, in this folder, it tells me about something called Exparol. Exparol is a local anesthetic that numbs the area of the body where the surgery is performed. Yeah, that numbiness was wearing off. Now, in the instructions that I'm given, okay, if you see down here, okay, it says to take Tylenol every 6 hours, and I could begin at 6 p.m. And then I could take ibuprofen every 6 hours, but I should alternate. If I take Tylenol at 6, then I can take ibuprofen at 9. And then I could take Tylenol at 12. And then Ibu at 3 in the morning. So every 3 hours I could alternate, because there should be 6 hours between taking Tylenol and then taking Tylenol again, and 6 hours before taking ibuprofen and then taking ibuprofen again. The oxycodone, I could begin taking at 9 p.m. and I could take that every 6 hours, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Okay. So, as the anesthesia was wearing off, and as the local anesthesia was wearing off, the pain set in. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about pain management. First off, what kind of pain? The pain felt like a bad sunburn or a bad sting from like a wasp or something, or both a sunburn and a bad sting. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst pain ever. Okay, but it was enough that there was no way I was going to get good sleep that night, obviously. Now, I was told that I should walk because they don't want to form blood clots. And I was able to, very slowly, very carefully, because again, I'm still a little woozy. I still got a little help. I have my canes from before when I couldn't walk, so I used that. And I have a picture. I think I'm going to show it to you if you can find it. Picture here. Okay, that's kind of what it looked like. Yeah, so I walked a little bit, to the kitchen, to the restroom. I have 2 cats, and I could not have the cats with me because they would jump on me, which is cool. I love my cats. Okay, so my brother took the cats with him upstairs. I live with my brother. He lives upstairs. I live downstairs. We don't even have to talk if we don't want to, or even see each other. But we do. And he took them upstairs to keep them out of the way. He fed them, took care of the litter. Awesome. You definitely want help. If you can't get your family member or friend to help, I don't know. If you can afford a nurse or something to come over, do that. But you definitely need help. Okay, I suppose I could have done it by myself if I really needed to, but that would have been advisable. Help was very much appreciated. Okay, so again, that first night, I start taking the medicine as soon as I can. Because again, once that anesthesia wore off, I was feeling it. Wasn't going to get any good sleep that night. Basically, I sat at my desk and I went in and out of consciousness. I went in and out of dozing and undozing. Another thing that I could not do was stand up straight. I was hunched over, okay? And I was told this. I was told that after the surgery, I'm going to be walking like this for a little bit. Because staying up, pulled on that suture line, even now, I feel a little bit of a pulling there. It's not bad, but if I try to stand up, it hurt. It hurt like I was cutting into me again. Not terribly, like a little cut, but I could definitely feel it. So I did it. I was hunched over and walked around. Okay, so that first night was rough. Okay, as to be expected. I would say it was rougher than the bariatric surgery I had. The bariatric surgery, they went in laparoscopically. So basically, I had 5 holes in me, and they just went in that way. This is, they cut me open, and took out. Okay, so it's definitely harder than the bariatric surgery, but it wasn't, again, the worst thing ever. And with the medicine, it was tolerable, kind of. Again, I didn't get good sleep, but I was following the instructions that were provided to me, but I was taking the medicine every 3 hours. I was taking the Oxy as soon as I could, the Tylenol as soon as I could, the ibuprofen as soon as I could, and I made sure to keep taking the laxative because again, you don't want to be constipated. And I was popping pills. Yeah, I was popping pills Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. Okay. So the first week was of course going to be the roughest. Again, I have this abdominal binder. I'll see if we can put picture of it up here. The binder was tight, and I'm supposed to be wearing it for 5 to 6 weeks. I had scheduled my post-op the following Thursday. So I had the surgery on Friday, and then the following Thursday, I would have my post-op. So the first week, and at the end of the first week, basically, I would have my post-op with, it wasn't the doctor. I think it was, what's called, a PA. That's what the badge said. But before then, I had the binder. The binder is squeezing tight, and that's a good thing because I could feel my stomach. I could feel the support from the binder along my stomach. Now, I apparently didn't ask enough questions, or I just wasn't told. But there was a bunch of swelling and water retention. Okay, I looked down at my thighs and my calves, and they looked like 2 or 3 times wider, thicker than before. At first, I thought it's just because I hadn't seen my thighs that well because I had this, stomach apron hanging over it. Okay, but then I'm thinking no, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, even my knees were, even the area around my knees were swollen, and my calves were swollen. I'm currently wearing compression sleeves, shin sleeves, and I put them on when I got home. Actually, my father helped me put them on, and my stomach. I couldn't feel anything in my. I still can't really feel my stomach very well right now. It's very numb-ish. I'll get to that in a second. And it felt hard, like really, really, really dense. I'm gonna say cake, but that's not right. Not hard like a hard shell turtle shell, but hard maybe like a soft shell turtle shell. Soft shell, yeah. It's definitely dense, like a balloon that's full with water and about to burst, but it hasn't burst yet. Okay, really, really dense. And again, numb. I can't really feel anything except for one thing, which is terrible, which I'll get to in a second. And the binder definitely helped support me. That first night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bending over wasn't really happening. I could squats. I could like get up and then go down and get up, but going over like this, nope, wasn't doing that. And I tried, and yeah, wasn't doing that. Okay, that was for like the first few days. So yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was just pain management, shuffling around. My brother had the cats, so I didn't worry about the cats. Also, another thing about the cats is that, you know, they'll jump on me while I'm sleeping, and I did not want that. As far as sleeping, once I was able to actually get into bed, I was told, and according to instructions, not to lay down flat, because again, I can't straighten up. So I did a little pillow fort, and I basically laid in bed sitting up. That got uncomfortable. That got uncomfortable really quickly. Because I can't move. I can't like lie on my side. I can't definitely lie on my stomach, and I want to be able to do that because like staying in the same position for, you know, several hours is uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable. But again, with the pain meds, it was tolerable. Yeah, that was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right now, I'm still sleeping in a upright position, somewhat. Okay, I do lie down more, but the first night I was like up. Okay, but now I'm like this. And I did get one of those sitting up pillows, but it has a little armrest and a little neck rest, right? And you can read a book, and it's you know, you lean back on it. It's comfortable. It's nice. I like it. I do put some more pillows on it just for my lower back, but it's comfortable. Let me recommend getting one of those before the surgery if you're gonna do this. So yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, pain management, shuffling around, just trying to get through the next few days. And I'm taking my medicine as often as I can. Monday, things begin to feel a little better. Instead of taking the oxycodone every 6 hours, I'm now taking it every 12 hours. And instead of taking the Tylenol, and then 3 hours later the ibuprofen, and then 3 hours later the Tylenol, I went to 6 hours. Okay, 6 hours Tylenol, then 6 hours later ibuprofen, then 6 hours later Tylenol. Okay, I'm cautious about taking drugs. Again, not that I have a particularly addictive personality when it comes to drugs, but you know, you don't want to risk it. So, first week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I am measuring the amount of fluid that comes out of the drains. To do this, you pinch the tube and slide the fluid down and out into the bulb. Okay, open the bulb, put it in the cup, measure it, and then they gave me this little handy dandy chart to, you know, write down all my measurements. I did eventually encounter a problem, which I'll get to in a second. Basically, what you want to do though, is don't use your dry fingers. That makes it hard to actually push. You want to use soap. I used an alcoholic swab, I'm not sure if that was caused the problem, if that is what caused the problem. So, okay, what happened? In the second week, a hole developed in the tube, in one of the tubes, in the middle tube. Uh, and I think that's because I was pulling on the tube and I wasn't always using like soap or alcohol swab, and a hole formed. Uh, so in the second week, I had to go back in to take a look at that middle one. And basically all I did was wrap tape about it, wrap tape around the hole. Around the hole. And I came home, removed that one because that tape wasn't really good, and I put some duct tape on. That worked wonders. Okay, but the first week I'm measuring the output, and the output, like I was measuring like almost every 6 or 8 hours because the bulb was getting full, and the drains can be removed once the milliliters is 20 or less for 2 consecutive days. Now, I had the surgery on Friday, and on Thursday I had the post-op. By the time Thursday came around, the drains on my right and on my left could be removed. And that's what the doctor did, or PA. We discussed it a little bit about, how I was doing. I was doing pretty well at the time, more or less. I didn't think about this at the time, but I wanted to ask the weight of how much they removed. I'm going to have to follow up with that. I also wanted to ask how long it actually took, but again, I just didn't think about it at the time. I was really wanting to get these drains out because these drains were a drain. These drains were annoying to operate with. Yeah. So the left one and right one they could remove, but the middle one still had some time to go because I was still putting out more volume than was allowable before they could remove it. That week, basically, I just shuffled around. What did I eat? I ate a high protein diet. The doctor recommended a high protein diet. So I got Premier Protein. I got Quest Protein. Premier Protein has 30 grams of protein. Quest has 45. So I drank 345 protein grams of Quest Protein and one of those Premier Proteins, which is 165 grams of protein. Awesome, great. And that's all I felt like eating. Right after the surgery, I didn't have an appetite. I almost had to force myself to eat. Not really, but I had to it was kind of a chore. Like, oh, I should eat something, okay? And I didn't want to eat anything. I had no appetite for anything. Fortunately, the liquid drink, easy, tasty enough, and easy on my stomach. I definitely wanted something easy on my stomach. I had some chicken every so often, some tuna, but basically I lived off protein drinks and a protein bar. I also have the Quest protein bars. That was for the first week. By Thursday again, I went in, they removed the drains. We talked about a little more. Yeah. And the third drain that was in the middle still had to remain. Now, by the second week, I was feeling better. I was feeling stronger. A problem, though, that I was beginning to encounter was the binder. Okay? Now, I don't know if you can see this, but the binder has these panels, like panel here and a panel here. Okay, and where these meet, there's this crease. That crease would bunch up, especially when I sat down. And it would dig into my stomach. And that hurt. That hurt like someone was poking with their thumb into my stomach and holding it there. I had to constantly readjust and pull it down or pull it up. Okay, I couldn't find a good, comfortable seat. Now, about finding a good, comfortable seat. Anyway, well, okay, let me go back up a little bit, okay? This binder, I do not like, or I didn't like. Actually, there are pros and cons, okay? Because it dug into me and because it hurt. I couldn't sleep sometimes because the pain woke me up. So I eventually bought a new binder, okay? And so let me see if I can show you a picture of the binder I have now, okay? And then I bought this binder, okay, which has no panels, okay, just one straight panel, and it has this cushiony section. Now, you can kind of see, this is where the suture line is. Actually, this is where my belly button is. And this is where the suture that goes from my hip to hip is. Okay, some of the, what is it? Not tape. I don't think it's called tape. Maybe surgical tape. But there's like, bandaging. Some of the bandaging like fell off. And this is where some of that wound is. And this one I find much more comfortable. The problem with this one is that it takes a lot, it's so very long, right? It wraps around me. And I can't wrap this around me by myself. I need my brother to help me wrap this around me. The one they gave me, okay, binds right here, okay? So I can pull this around and bind it here. So I can put this on by myself, but the other one, I have to have help to put on. The other one's more comfortable, and this one is easier to wear. It's easier to put on. Okay, how to take care of your binder. As I understand it, as I was reading up upon it, you're supposed to hand wash it, and you're not supposed to put it in the dryer because that could affect the elasticity of it. My brother did it for me. He washed it in the laundry, in the washer, and then he put it in his dryer. But he says he has a no heat option on his dryer. I'm not quite sure how that worked. Anyways, he washed it. It seemed to work fine. I have it on now. It seems to be working fine. I'm not exactly sure, what he did, but it didn't affect the quality of the binder. Yes. I'm supposed to wear this binder 24/7 for the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks from date of the surgery. And I did that. I'm not supposed to take a shower because I don't want to get the suture lines wet. So I just get a towel, wet it, put some soap on, wipe myself down, then get another towel, dry myself off. This binder was beginning to feel gross after a while, which is why I bought another one also, which is another reason why I bought another one. And again, my brother helped me wash it. My father helped me put it on once. He's very rough about it. He's like pulled, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, okay, we gotta readjust. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the binder. If they gave me one, and I would advise if you're gonna do surgery to get one on your own. And again, I got this one with padding on it. Oops. Got this one with padding on it, which again I would advise because this one, the digging in was just bad. It was just bad. Now, so week 1 goes, I get the drains out. Week 2, I'm feeling better. The problem during week 2 was the binder was cutting into my stomach and it was hurting. And again, my stomach was dense, was tough. And even now, I can't really feel anything except for one thing. During week 2, the itching set in, okay? I'm going to say that the itching was this bad and the pain was this bad, okay? The itching was getting worse and worse. Just horrible. There was one night, was it this week? No, end of last week, end of the second week, where it was so bad I couldn't sleep. I could not sleep. I was trying to scratch, and you gotta, in order to scratch, I have to pull the binder out a little bit and dig my hand down and scratch and come up again. And it was tiring. It was exhausting to pull it out, dig, scratch, and then, release. It was terrible. And that one night I couldn't sleep because it was so itchy. Finally, I just got up, took it off, scratched. I was scratching for like 5-10 minutes. And when it got to the point where I could see, I was, almost drawing blood, red lines across my stomach, I stopped. Okay, I'm going too far. Going too far. And I didn't have any kind of cream or lotion for that. I didn't have any itching cream or lotion for that. I've since ordered some and I went overboard. I got like 3 or 4 different kinds of gels. But that night, I didn't have anything for it. I did put some lotion on, try to put some lotion on. You're warned against putting anything on the actual incision lines, but just next to it, right? That didn't seem to help too much because it's just moisturizing lotion. It kind of helped, especially because I was causing myself some injury there. So that kind of helped. I did look it up online, and another suggestion was to put these gel packs, these ice packs on you, and that helped. I have some. I have these. Okay, I have these. I put them in the freezer. A couple hours later, I took them out. I put them on my stomach, over the binder, over my shirt. Okay, okay. It wasn't complete relief, but it helped. It definitely helped. The itching was terrible, and it still is. It's still bad, but it wasn't the worst. Among the worst, though, was coughing or sneezing. I dreaded sneezing, and I did. There were a couple times where I sneezed, and it was a wave of pain. Okay, it like started on my left and went from my left across my body to my right. Okay, just a wave of pain when I sneezed. I dreaded sneezing. Coughing was bad too, but it was like an instant pain, whereas the sneeze was like a lingering wave of pain. Horrible. Okay. Fortunately, I didn't sneeze. I haven't sneezed too often, so that's okay. But let me warn against that. Okay. So week 2, the itching sets in. I'm still afraid of sneezing a little bit right now, and I ordered a bunch of itching cream. I also got myself another binder, and I was able to get more mobile. By the end of week 2, I took a quick little walk up the road to a nearby 7-Eleven, and it was about 300 yards, something like that, right? And it came back down. On the way up, it wasn't too bad. On the way back, my stomach was beginning to hurt a little bit, like because I guess all the walking, you hit the ground, and there's a little bit of vibration, and by the time I got back, there was a little bit of an ache in my stomach. It wasn't bad, just a little bit of an ache, and I was a little tired. When I got back, I was like, like maybe going up 3 or 4 flights of stairs at once, right? A little tired. But I was able to do it. Fine. I wasn't having any other particular issues. So end of week 2, I am recovering well. I'm no longer taking the pain medicines 24/7 as often as I can. I'm taking the oxycodone like every 12 hours in the morning and at night. In the morning, basically, I guess the pain medicines that I took the night before kind of wore off. And so I definitely felt the burning, stinging sensation again. It wasn't quite as bad, but I felt this burning, stinging sensation. So I took some oxy to help me just deal with that. And I was also taking the ibuprofen and the Tylenol, but instead of taking it every 3 hours, I was taking it like every 6 hours, and I was taking one or the other. I wasn't like going, Tylenol, Ibu, Tylenol, Ibu. I was taking Tylenol, and then like 6 hours later, I take ibuprofen, and 6 hours later, I would take, the Tylenol again. Now, I work the weekends, Friday through Monday. Obviously, week 1, Friday, I didn't go to work. I had the surgery. The following week, I was scheduled to work. Now, prior, like a few months, several weeks prior to the surgery, I put in for PTO. Okay? And I was approved for PTO, and I was approved to work from home. But then, like a week or 2 before the surgery, all working from home was rescinded, unless you had exigent circumstances. So, I write to my supervisor and say, hey, I am in surgery the week before. I already put in PTO for that, and you already approved my, working from home the following week, week 2. Okay, Is it still cool for me to work from home? Supervisor went to the client. Okay. Client said no. Client's a government, by the way. The client's a government. Yeah. I'm a contractor. I work for a government agency. The government said no. I don't know what exigent circumstances means anymore, except for bad weather. Like if you're snowed in, that counts apparently, but surgery doesn't count. Nope. Okay, great. Yeah. Anyways, I had to go in, and I did. And I still had drain in me. I still had drain. I had to go in the drain. But I work nights, so there aren't too many people there. There are some, but not too many. Also, I normally have a coworker, but this weekend or that weekend, my coworker was at drill, so it was just me, myself, and I. And it was the second week, and technically I wasn't supposed to drive myself in the second week, but I went up the road, right? I was feeling okay. I didn't really have too much of any kind of dizziness issue anymore, so I drove. It was uncomfortable because sitting down is still, I have to be careful with that. Second week, right? I still have to be careful with that. But I drove. I went in. I took all my medicines. I took my charts. I took my, measuring cups. And I worked. Now, the problem at work was I could not find a good, comfortable seat to save my life. Okay? My seat, I can put a cushion on. I can lean back in. The seats at work weren't like that at all. I was basically, and again, the binder would bind up and pinch into me, and that hurt. So I was basically sitting down for an hour and standing up for an hour. Sitting down for an hour, standing up for an hour. Because the only comfortable position really was standing up. I still a little hunched over, but standing up. That was very uncomfortable. That was very uncomfortable. I wish I could have worked from home. I don't normally like to work from home. If I can, I don't work from home. But in this particular instance, yeah, that it would have been better to work from home. Now the next shift that comes in after me, when they came in, I was able to leave and continue anything I had to do from home because there's a little bit of a lap over. Overlap. Excuse me. There's a little bit of an overlap. But yeah, for the most part, I was there, and it was uncomfortable. But I got through it. Okay. Beginning of this week, I'm feeling significantly better. But something I did not know or realize about myself was that I've been exercising 2, sometimes 3 times a day for the last couple of years now. I did not realize how accustomed I had gotten to being that active. The name of my channel is Mark Moves because before the bariatric surgery, when it was a 550, 560, I couldn't move at all. Okay. And slowly, over the years, I've acquired some level of physical fitness. My personal trainer labels me an athlete, which is just something hard for me to grab, something hard for me to own as part of my identity, that I'm an athlete, okay? I still don't really feel comfortable with that coat, so to speak. But I was feeling antsy. Week 2, I was beginning to feel antsy. I was feeling like I gotta do something. I gotta lift. I gotta walk. I gotta do something. Because I was getting bored. There's only so much YouTube and Netflix and Mandarin learning or studying for certification that you can do. I was getting bored. I was getting antsy. I did not realize that I needed an exercise hit. I needed a little fix, a little something, a little curl here, a little, row there, something. I wanted something. So by the 3rd week, I felt good enough, especially after that short walk up the hill, to try and go for an actual long walk. So there's a park behind my house, and there's a walkway, a path, and I followed a path, and I went back and forth on the path. I didn't want to go too far from the house in case I fell or something, I needed help. But I walked, and I did a mile. and it was tiring. I was tired. Okay. Before this, I was doing 3 miles. You know, in about an hour and a half. It took me the hour to do the mile, but that was fine, and I felt good about it. Okay. The next day, I did 2 miles. Great. The next day, 3 miles, and I'm going to go for a walk later today, probably 3 miles, and I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling better. I was worried about the atrophy because again, I haven't actually done any weightlifting yet, and I can feel my body just withering away. I realize this is probably just mostly psychological, and I'm probably being hyperbolic and somewhat melodramatic, but I just feel like I'm atrophying. It's like, it's terrible. I mean, I made all these fitness gains, and I don't want to lose them. However, that first day when I went for a 1 mile walk wasn't too bad, and then when the next day I went for a 2 mile walk, and that became easier. And then when I went for a 3 mile walk, it was even easier than a 2 mile walk. So I feel like I'll quickly recover back to where I was before, hopefully. Okay. So yeah, that was end of week 2, beginning of week 3. I'm beginning to walk again, and I can sit up straight now. I do feel a bit of a pulling, but it isn't terrible or painful at all. Okay, I can sit up straight. I can bend over straight. Like, I don't want to curl necessarily. I can, but I just prefer to bend over at the hip, straight. Pick things up. My brother's no longer taking care of the cats for me. I'm taking care of the cats. So, I'm cleaning their litter. I'm feeding them their food. I'll play with them, right? So I'm definitely more active and healing. I have replaced some of the gauze and other wound care bandages around me. And so far I seem to be healing all right, as best as I can tell anyways. And I'm going to go to work, this weekend. Today's Friday. I'm going to go to work later tonight. They did remove, okay, so this week is when they removed the third drain. I finally got to the point where the milliliters were less than 20 milliliters less for 2 consecutive days. Took it out. Everything at that end went fine. Okay. So far, so good. Now, let's talk about the cost. Okay. I got some notes here. Okay. How much does all this cost? Well, I went through my medical records. I went to the billing from the hospital. Okay. And I got all those records. And then I went to my insurance. I have Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. And I got all the claims. And then I did the math. Okay, fine. AI did the math. I put it through AI. I wasn't going to go through all the documents. Okay, there are a lot of them. And I'll put them up here. Okay, so AI did the math, but I gathered all the information. So here you go. Okay, so without insurance, for my very first visit with Dr. Pingsong, all the way through surgery, my panniculectomy would have cost $52,000. Yeah, 52,000. Whew. Oh my God. Okay. Let's break that down a little bit. Okay. Again, this is without insurance. Apparently, the surgeon's fees were about $4,000. The pre-op testing, the cardiac clearance, and all that fun stuff you need to figure out to see if you can survive this stuff, was about $5,300. And the big one, the actual big one, was the actual hospital stay, the facilities, the operating room, supplies, drugs, recovery. $39,000. That's the bill from the billing site for the hospital. Okay, let's see if we can show it to you here. Okay, let's see if we can break it down, all the stuff. that they're charging me for. Okay, and I'll put this in the description below. Actually, well, I'll put the instructions that I was given in the description below. Yeah, $39,000 for the operation itself. Ooh. Okay. Now, what was actually paid? Okay. So actually, what did insurance actually pay? Excuse me. So again, I got all my claims, and looking across all my claims, insurance would build $13,000. The one bill that's still pending is that $39,000 one. Okay, so that one still hasn't gone through. But so far, besides that, the hospital, my insurance would build $13,000. What they actually paid, apparently, from what I can tell from the claims, was about $5,300. Okay, the rest mostly worked their way through those magical, mysterious insurance discounts. I don't know how it works. It feels like a scam to me. I don't know how it works. Okay, but from what I could see from the claims, they were billed $13,000, but they only paid so far $5,300. But again, that large hospital bill hasn't gone through with insurance just yet. Now, I got a letter in the mail. I'll see if I can show it to you here, from the insurance company saying that they would pay for the surgery. And so far, they have. So far, so good. Okay, so far, so good. I haven't had any issues so far with the insurance or with the hospital. I get charged a copay. I've been paying that. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, but so far, so good. I expect them to, deal with the 309K one. Now, out of pocket, my maximum is $5,000, and so far, it's for the year, because I've had other medical treatments I had to do. Like I had the excess iron in my blood, so I had to check that out. But so far, for my out of pocket, I spent about $1,300 for the year, and again, my maximum is $5,000. So we'll see how that goes. I can't help but feel a little anxious about it, but so far, the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama has been really, really good, really helpful. So that's good. I like that. But copay, how much have I actually paid so far for all of this so far? So far, I paid $750. Yeah, okay. So $52,000 without insurance. With insurance is paid, was charged $13,000, paid $5,300. Again, this is not with the $38,000 still pending. And so far, I've only paid $750 in copays and visits, right? Whew, thank you, baby Jesus. Oh my God, thank you, baby Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I understand that the healthcare insurance system in the U.S. has problems, to say the least. Okay, but I can't help but suddenly be extremely appreciative of the fact that I have healthcare, and I feel really, really bad about those who don't. Yeah, I don't know where I can go to give money for that kind of thing. But if I can, I have to look into that. My brother, my father, anyone I care about needs some help with the medical billing, I'm definitely willing to help them out. But yes, for me, I've so far paid $750 for this surgery from first visit to now. And again, I'm still pending that large 39,000 K bill, which is still going through insurance. So that's where I'm at. I have my second post-op in 2 weeks. At that time, we'll reevaluate. Hopefully, I can remove this binder because, again, this is just so uncomfortable all the time. It's just so uncomfortable. It's hot sometimes, gets warm sometimes. And this particular one, again, bunches up. So I'm going to have to adjust it every so often. But yeah, So after the recovery time for this surgery, it'll be 3 months until my next surgery. I'm not quite sure which one that'll be. I think it's going to be the chest and arms, but we'll see. And yeah, I'll keep you posted. Until then, thank you and have a good day. Adios.